Hey guys, so I would have really liked to do a first impression video with this eyeshadow. This is the Ultraviolet Pigment that is part of the re-released Dark Star kit from Pat McGrath Labs. It comes with a black pencil and the stupid eye gloss. I basically bought the whole kit because of this one eyeshadow, which is the shade Ultraviolet Blue. Like I said, I would have really liked to do a little first impressions video with it, but yesterday when I tried it, I accidentally poked myself in the eye with an old Urban Decay pencil and my right lid is still a little bit swollen. So I am going to lay off the makeup for a day or two, but I thought it might be fun to just do a little swatch party video. Like a while back I did a video where I swatched all of my Pat McGrath golds, and I thought we can do something similar now and just swatch all of my Pat McGrath blue eyeshadows. And we shall of course start with the eyeshadow that prompted this video, which is the eyeshadow in question, the shade Ultraviolet Blue. So this shade is very beautiful. It's more of a blurple than a true blue. It has very strong magenta purple tones to it, and if you shine an artificial light on it, you can definitely tell that there is a little bit of like green sparkles going on in it. I'm trying to do that with my phone here, so bear with me. So it's a really beautiful eyeshadow, so let's just watch that one first. So this is the shade Ultraviolet Blue. And also, just so you know, I think people have said it, but I will reiterate it, this eyeshadow stains like a motherfucker. So there you have it. This is Ultraviolet Blue. Now I know a lot of people like to use this shade over a black base, so let's dig into the next eyeshadow palette that I want to swatch for you, and that is the blue from the Subliminal palette, of course. But before we move into the blue from the Subliminal palette, I wanted to swatch the ultraviolet shade for you also over a black base, and I don't want to do it over the black pencil because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep the black pencil that comes in the kit, because it's more likely that I'm going to use it like this over a black eyeshadow from Pat. So let me quickly do that for you as well, just so you can tell the difference. Of course, a black base immediately gives a bit more body and a bit more depth to the shade, but it still preserves those beautiful, like, dark blurple tones to it. It just becomes slightly more indigo, I feel like. Before I swatch the Blitz Blue shade from Subliminal though, I just wanted to quickly show you what happens when you put this shade. This is the shade Astral White from the Subliminal palette, which has a beautiful, like, blue-purple sparkle to it, and if I'm not mistaken, this shade was in one of the original kits as well. I'm not sure that it came together with this shade, but I would imagine that it did, because it makes a lot of sense, right? So I'm just going to layer this shade a little bit over the UV shade so that you can see how it looks like when it's layered. It looks really beautiful. It becomes like a true, like, blurple duochrome. And now without further ado, let's swatch this shade over here. This is the shade Blitz Blue, which comes in Mothership 1 Subliminal. And I want to point out, the shade in the Mothership palette is one of her, like, special topper shades, so the formula of this is much smoother and, in my opinion, better compared to the UV shade. The UV shade is really beautiful, but it's just a standard metallic shade. It's not the special topper shade formula. And you can immediately tell the difference. Let me just quickly swatch the UV shade again next to Blitz Blue so you can clearly see the difference. Blitz Blue is so much more of like a true blue compared to the UV shade. The UV shade is just so much more purple compared to Blitz Blue. Blitz Blue is a more true blue. I really like that shade. Alright, so the next blue I want to swatch for you is this shade over here. This is the shade Blitz Amethyst from the Mothership 3 Subversive palette, which is once again a blue-purple duochrome. Again, it comes in her special shade formula, so of course the texture of this eyeshadow is nothing like the UV ultraviolet shade. So they are definitely quite different from each other, as you can tell from the swatch, because the Blitz Blue shade has that almost like silver blue overlay over the magenta purple base, whereas the UV shade is just a straight up super pigmented blurple shade. Okay, next let's grab the Interstellar Icon Quad, where I want to swatch this shade for you. This is the shade Hypnotique, It is one of her newest shades. It was part of the Luxe Quads that were released for Holiday 2020. So here you have a swatch of the shade from Interstellar Icon. And you can tell that actually the shade from Interstellar Icon is much more similar to the Blitz Amethyst shade from the Subversive compared to the UV shade. Still a little bit different because the Interstellar Icon shade has a much more blue tone compared to Blitz Amethyst. Blitz Amethyst is definitely more purple. The next shade I want to swatch for you, actually two shades we can swatch. I'm pretty sure that none of them is really going to be close to the UV shade, but I'm just curious how they look next to the other blues and purples. So this is the shade... oh, I don't know the name of this. Wait a sec. This is the shade Blitz Purple, which if you look in the pan like this, actually doesn't look very different compared to the UV shade. It just looks like it has more of like a black and purple base. And a shade that I'm sure is not going to look anything like it, but it is a blue from Pat McGrath and we are going to swatch it, is the shade Blitz Aquamarine. This quad is part of her Holiday 2019 collection, so all of these are again in her special formula. Let's start with the deep purple and then swatch the Blitz Aquamarine shade. They're so pretty. So here are the swatches for those. You can tell that the purple shade from the Nocturnal Nirvana quad has a almost like a blackened purple base, and you can't really see any visible sparkles. I know that when you put it on the eye you can see this like very fine purpley pink shimmer, but here it just looks like a black and purple. And the shade Blizz Aquamarine, of course, is pretty unique actually to Pat's collection, because you can see this is the one of the only, or maybe even the only blue she has in her collection that leans a little bit more to like the teal green side of the spectrum. Everything else is very purple based. The next palette I want to swatch for you is this one. This is part of her Opulence 2018 collection, and the shade I want to swatch is called... I want to say it's Interstellar. This is the shade Interstellar. You can clearly tell this has, again, very strong purple tones to it, but nonetheless, we shall swatch it. I'm starting to run out of space to swatch, but I still want to swatch on my hand here, so let's do this. So here you have Interstellar from the Opulence 2018 collection. This shade is much more similar in tone compared to the shade from Interstellar Icon, to Blitz Amethyst, but it just has a deeper base to it compared to those two shades. Very beautiful, but kind of similar-ish to the others. Last but certainly not least, we have one of her Decadence shades. This is the shade Lapis Luxury. I have it also in the Decadence palette, but I have it as a single, and this is just so much more easier for me to show you. This shade is absolutely beautiful. Again, this leans a little bit more teal blue rather than purple blue, and it's one of my favorite shades from Pat. Let's swatch that right here. So here you have Lapis Luxury, and actually you can tell that Lapis Luxury is much closer in tone to the Blitz Aquamarine shade from the Nocturnal Nirvana quad, and in fact the two of them work very well together. Let me show you. Let me show you what happens when you have Blitz Aquamarine over top of Interstellar Icon. It just gives it these beautiful, stronger green tones. Look how gorgeous that is. I love this combination. I wear this combination a lot. So guys, there you have it, all the swatches of Pat's blues side by side. And this is how they look like when you shine an artificial light on them. They become beautiful and sparkly and delicious. There you have it, all of my Pat McGrath blue eyeshadows for your viewing pleasure. I hope that you enjoyed this video and it was useful for you to see all of these eyeshadows next to each other, to see the differences, the commonalities between them, and you know, kill a few minutes on a boring Sunday afternoon. Don't forget to let me know which blues from Pat are your favorites. Can you even pick one, or do you like them all for a different reason? If you asked me what my favorite blues from Pat are, my top 3 favorite blues from Pat, I would go for definitely Lapis Luxury, definitely Blitz Blue, and I think I'm gonna go for the blue in Interstellar Icon because it is just so incredibly beautiful. Yeah, I think this is going to be my top 3. I love all of them for different reasons, for different occasions, and I think they all have beautiful and different tones to them, but this is my personal top 3. Let me know what yours is. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!